Hi there everyone, it is currently the 18th of September 2011 and out here in the Western Pacific today, a very active day as far as tropics. We still have Tropical Storm Roke here continuing to spin east of Okinawa. It is remaining very stationary here and also bringing a lot of precipitation up here towards Japan. But also we have Typhoon Sonca off towards the north of Iwoto and Iwo Jima here, and basically about 450 nautical miles to the southeast of Tokyo. This is expected to turn off towards the northeast and remain east of Honshu. But first, I want to dive into a situation happening actually off the satellite and a little bit farther off towards the west. And that is out here towards Thailand and most of Indochina. There has been an exceptionally high amount of flooding rains out here. Actually, some places in Thailand seeing upwards of just over about 200 to 300 millimeters of rain out here. And that's really indicated by these continuous convection continuing to persist for several weeks from Vietnam down towards Thailand, in Malaysia, and in Thailand specifically. I saw a news report today of 98 deaths in the last week, over 30,000 homes damaged, and also 1.3 million acres of farmland are underwater across much of the country here. For any people not familiar with the area, Thailand basically stretches out here and goes down towards the peninsula. This is the Gulf of Thailand right in here, and as you can see, a lot of this convection is continuing to persist, but not just here, even up towards Burma and Bangladesh, you're also seeing a lot of convection up there. And all of this is due to the southwest monsoon, which is indicated here on Thailand's surface analysis. That's what the stretching of low pressure is from the South China Sea out towards Burma and Bangladesh and eastern India. This is the southwest monsoon. It's really just a trough of low pressure created by a heat low over much of Indochina here, and a lot of the moisture wants to run on shore from the offshore high pressure down towards the south and go into this region. That's what's bringing all of that moisture, continuing to pummel the region, and it's not expected to end anytime soon, as many of the models actually indicate this monsoonal depression to continue to persist for several weeks into the future. Definitely out for another week, you're going to continue to see a lot of moisture. So we're going to continue to watch this situation as it develops. Really sad story coming out of Thailand there. But also I do want to note this monsoonal depression actually extends a little bit farther off towards the east, out here towards these two tropical systems. Originally they were part of the monsoonal depression. We do have another low actually here in the South China Sea that's bringing a lot of moisture to northern Luzon as well. That area actually has seen upwards of 185 millimeters in the past 24 hours in Subic Bay, just north of Manila. And that's actually all due to that monsoon depression, but also inflow into Tropical Storm Roke. Now, I know Tropical Storm Roke has been really the highlight of these last few updates, but also do want to cover these other areas that they have been getting a very high amount of precipitation. But Roke continues to linger here just east of Okinawa. Some dry air inflow coming in from the northern periphery, but a lot of moisture still coming in and being fed into the system from the south. And that is indicated on this visible satellite imagery here. All this white area down towards the southeast is higher cloud tops with all that convection, but up here you see the Ryukyu Islands in Okinawa right here, and that area actually, if you're not aware of what's going on out here, it might be just breezy there in Okinawa and see some clear skies, so it may not seem actually like there is a tropical storm, a severe tropical storm just offshore, but definitely gonna be seeing some high waves out there. And actually JMA has put out some high wave warnings up and down the Ryukyu Islands, and that is one of the main threats with this, is you could see some rip currents right near the coastal areas there. But also embedded within that dry air is a few isolated areas of thunderstorms, and those isolated areas of thunderstorms could bring some heavy precipitation for short durations of times, but also some lightning out here. So you want to not let your guard down here in Okinawa. Even though the storm is farther off towards the west at time, you still could see some of those storms coming through. But where is this system going to be going? Well, it does have a potential to drift slightly towards the west before turning off towards the north here, as indicated on the streamline analysis. And my thoughts is it's going to be making landfall just northeast of the Kii Peninsula. If you follow this background flow, it should take it off basically towards Shikoku and around the Kii Peninsula. I think it might drift a little bit farther towards the northeast as this trough kind of pushes that high pressure a little bit farther off towards the east as well. Also, I do want to note on the streamline analysis, this severe tropical storm Sonca via JMA Typhoon J2WC. I want to clarify that up at the time of this update, but that system is expected to round this high pressure and follow these lines basically spot on, about remaining about 300 nautical miles off of eastern Honshu. Going to bring a lot of high swells here to the east coast, but it should remain well offshore and not really going to see much precipitation precipitation from the system on the coast. But that is off towards the northeast. But one of the problems with this system is the fact that it has been bringing a lot of precipitation. That's Roke. It has been bringing a lot of precipitation to the east coast, and if it does travel off towards the north and making landfall in this region, you're still going to even see more rainfall fall from this. And this indicated right here is the flood model from the TRIM satellite analysis, showing the highest amount of precipitations over the last several days, but also taking into account soil moisture. And this is just showing the high flood potential and mudslide potential located here on eastern Kyushu and up towards Shikoku. Actually, some of these areas in here have been seeing an exceptionally high amount of rainfall here. Actually, Miyazaki seeing 180 millimeters of rainfall in the past 24 hours. That's located right along eastern Kyushu here. So just another thing I do want to note, even though the storm is expected to head off towards the north and start to slowly weaken, it's still going to have a lot of moisture with it. But here's the current look at the 5-day track via JMA. They have a little bit farther east than what I was saying, and they have it taking up towards the Kanto Plain before turning off towards the north. So this is the official forecast from this. So anybody basically making any decisions about how to prepare for the system, definitely look at JMA and what they're putting out on it. They are not expecting it to make typhoon status. JTWC differs on that. They're expecting this to increase up to a typhoon. JMA is expecting this to max out right about 60 knots, which it is at currently, and then start to see a decrease in intensity as it tracks off towards the northeast and starts to encounter a lot of vertical wind shear as it gets with the westerlies, as indicated here on this wind shear chart, showing about upwards of 30 to 40 knots of wind shear just along Japan here, about 5 to 10 knots right out ahead of the system. But as it does continue to track off towards the north and that trough of low pressure comes down in from the northwest, that wind shear is also going to come down as well and start interacting with Tropical Storm Roke. And lastly, I do want to show the projected track for severe Tropical Storm Sonca. That is via JMA. As already noted, JTWC has this intensity at 65 knots, thus it is a typhoon. I do kind of lean more towards JTWC on this one, though. The system does have an eye located in the center of the circulation, as indicated on this visible satellite imagery. You do see a lot of good inflow going into the center of the system, but also some good outflow aloft. So really, overall, this system does have all the ingredients in place at this time for typhoon status, but you can see that little pinhole eye right near the center of it, and it is expected to continue to drift off towards the north. But good news, it is also expected to remain away from any landmass, so not really going to impact anybody directly as it follows this track off towards the northeast. You are going to see a lot of high waves and swells up and down the east coast of Japan here, though, so could be a bad beach day if you want to try to get out there, because there is a potential for some rip current. So definitely stay safe and be careful out here if you're trying to get out there and enjoy some of the weather here this Sunday into Monday. I know Monday is actually a holiday out here in Japan, so could be somewhat of a dangerous situation if anybody tries to venture out there as the storm tracks by. But that is all for right now, everyone. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And as always, continue to check JTWC and JMA's forecasts on these two tropical systems out there. And also, hopefully, if you are in any of the flooded areas down here towards the south, I really do wish you the best of luck. And try to continue to keep those updates posted on those areas as well. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great day, and definitely stay safe out there.